If you love the original Little Mermaid and you remember the song Kiss the Girl, you are in for a rude awakening for the new movie because nothing can be left alone, and Disney wants to infantilize an entire generation of people because now they need you to understand that Kiss the Girl, kind of like if you remember when they did the rebrand on Cinderella, you can't kiss the girl without consent. Right, Mary?
I know everyone agrees that gender dynamics are in such a better place in 2023 compared to 1989. We're totally better off for all of these modern changes, aren't we? Aren't we, Brett?
We are so much better off.
Everyone agrees
Yes.
that women are just in so much a better place than they were in the late 80s, right? So these songs, Kiss the Girl and Poor Unfortunate Souls, are the ones that were subject to change for modern audiences.
Updated for modern audiences.
And this was revealed in an interview with Alan Menken, who is the composer for the film. He worked on the lyrics with Lin-Manuel Miranda, who is notoriously cringe. He said in a question to like, what from the original did you think needed to change? He said, there are lyrics in Kiss the Girl that got changed because people have gotten very sensitive about the idea that Prince Eric would in any way force himself on Ariel. We have some revisions in Poor Unfortunate Souls regarding lines that might make young girls somehow feel that they shouldn't speak out of turn, even though Ursula is clearly manipulating Ariel to give up her voice. So
Can't just be a bad guy anymore.
Yeah. You want to read out what the original lyrics were?
I'll read it for Kiss the Girl first. It
Yeah.
says, yes, you want her. Look at her. You know you do. Possible she wants you to. There's one way to ask her. It don't take a word, not a single word. Go on and kiss the girl. We could play that clip. I don't know
So
if that
now, in this situation, how does he get Ariel's verbal consent if she can't talk?
he's like...
Do you need a whiteboard?
Yeah, well, he's like...
He hands her a marker?
A form.
Sign language.
Like, or maybe he has that app that allows people to both explicitly consent to
write
sexual intercourse.
Yeah, a contract.
Yeah, like he has a lawyer.
I mean,
draw
we're
it up
not even
before him.
talking about intercourse right now.
Yeah.
It's just all he has to do is kiss her. I would love to find out what women really think about men asking for permission to kiss them, because I would bet most of the time they don't like it.
Can I kiss you, please?
Yeah.
Like, how did this enter the mainstream?
Me too.
This is what.
Deer Scream
Yeah,
says
like-
consent.
That's 100% the reason.
But it's even
young
before
men.
that.
You had young men that didn't truly understand the nuance of the world, seeing every man get Me Too'd, whether it was justified or not, and then the pendulum completely swings, and they're scared to even talk to women. Like,
I mean, we're just not acknowledging that nonverbal cues exist.
And now,
Yeah, no, that's a big part of it. It's like,
are we
they
all
pretend-
autistic now when
Yes.
we don't know what
100%.
emotions look like?
yes, because of this. Yes,
It's because, first of all, it's because people are like experience most of their interactions with the opposite sex through their phones
Yep,
now.
that's what I was
So
gonna
they're
say.
not actually learning how to decode those cues of interest themselves. And second of all, beyond that, it's been penalized in a way that, look, we don't like ambiguity in society for these things. Now, you have to be very, very clear. Otherwise, you're liable to be told, like, later, like, oh, I clearly think of Aziz Ansari. He takes this girl, and she never says no, and he's supposed to just know that what she meant is I'm uncomfortable.
Well,
Yeah.
didn't they never even hook up?
They did.
Like, it was just awkward, and so she was like, #MeToo.
Yeah.
Mary, look at the COVID babies. Like they basic even if they're a normal healthy baby, because of the masks that every human was wearing, they're basically they have special needs. They're completely delayed. They're gonna have a tough time ahead of them because those crucial years was either spent looking at a person in a mask or with a tablet in their face.
The speech pathologists in 2020 were like, cha-ching.
Cha-ching.
Oh.
They're not going to see any words being spoken. Yeah. This is just like, this song is a fun, whimsical, just lighthearted song that isn't meant to talk about Prince Eric forcing himself on Ariel at all.
It just shows you how divorced we are from any type of whimsical society. We're not allowed to have whimsy anymore. You're not allowed to be romantic.
Romance is dead,
You're not
but
allowed
it's
to be
all
romantic.
men's fault, right?
Yes, it
like,
is.
why are we blaming men for the death of romance and chivalry when at the same time we're punishing them for every attempt at it.
It's hilarious because right now on TikTok, you are seeing this play out. You are seeing young women just record normal people at the gym, be like, "Oh my God, look at this creep," and he's like, not even doing anything. Like Joey Swole highlights this perfectly.
The lady in the lady was in the pool.
In the pool,
full makeup on.
And then you see these women like, where's my knight in shining armor? It's like, well, you just told him that he's a problem and to F off. Yep. So he's not coming, right? So it's hilarious that you're seeing this, and the people don't understand. They don't understand that like they're doing this to themselves.
And it's so obvious this is why the original Little Mermaid was so popular.
Yeah.
It resonates with the deepest desires that women have in their hearts. Their cold, dead hearts.
But
no,
they're
I'm
told
kidding.
not to embrace those desires anymore.
Yeah, and he's obviously framing this in this interview as, people have gotten very sensitive about da-da-da, and these lines might make some girls feel somehow that da-da-da. So he clearly sees that it's ridiculous, but he's going along with it.
Because it's a corporate product.
He knows that this is ridiculous. He's saying it out loud.
It's corporations hedging their bets. So it has to be the safest, most watered down version of a product it can possibly be. There can be no risk taken because it's a Fortune 500 company making it.
Well, except when you're race swapping a character. That's a risk that we're perfectly allowed to take now.
To them, that's safe.
It's the only risk that we're allowed to take.
To them, that's
race
safe
swapping, now. Gender swapping, ginger siding. Anything related to someone's surface level immutable traits, that you can change.
Everything
else is subject
art.
to change.
Everything
that's actually integral to the art.
Yeah, but you can't create new art like that. Like, see, that's the thing that upsets me. Like, if you want to tell some nuanced story, like, come up with your own story. Stop stealing someone else's work, because that's what you are. If you're a modern artist right now working for these companies, you are a thief. I don't care. I don't care if they own the intellectual property rights.
I was about to say, I don't know about that.
You are a thief. You are lazy. You are scum. And because you're creativeless. All right, that's not a word, but you are not creative.
Well,
you're just taking someone else's work, making one or two changes, and then parading it around as yours.
I think that happened in the first place when they made the Little Mermaid animated movie, because obviously this is adapted from a folktale that's much older than that even. And they sanitized that folktale into something that was palatable for people in the 1980s and the 90s. And that makes sense. Because we lived in a less mentally ill society in 1989 when the original Little Mermaid came out, that story was popular. Now, everyone is hyper self-aware, and we clearly don't have any concept of nonverbal cues. We don't have social awareness anymore. Right. To the point where a song like Kiss the Girl is about the R word? Like, in what way?
Dude, a lot of people wouldn't know
it's willful ignorance.
Actual struggle if it hit them in the face. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, but you got to realize, Mary, and this is like, I always have to check myself, because you have to realize these people truly think this is violence. People truly think like not asking for permission, like, oh my God, he would what? It's like they live in this bubble land.
And it's going to make every guy like desperate to deny their instincts. Like, he's like going to reach, he wants to give a girl a kiss. He's like, well, hold on, I got to check my form list here. Like, can I have permission to please inch closer to you? I will be in your personal space. Is this allowed? It denies that the human experience is not entirely vocal.
Well, yeah, it also denies that women have any desires that they do not vocally express, which is insane to say about any human being. And it just kind of makes women sound like soulless automatons that just robotically voice all of their desires at all times. Like, give me food, give me water. Like, I don't know what planet these people live on, but I don't want to live in this reality.
They don't live on a planet. That's just it. The majority of their day, like their waking moments, are spent in the digital world. It's not a real place.
I wish that young men today knew that just because, the updated modern version of The Little Mermaid and every other fairy tale out there is made to, be feminist, and that the men are always on the sidelines and the female protagonists are always the girl bosses who don't need them but maybe want them sometimes. I wish that those young men knew that they don't have to ask for permission to be men.
No, seriously.
And to take a stand and to make a move.
If there's any young guys listening right now, like, be the knight in shining armor, because you're going to clean up. You are going to clean up. I don't care what your peers are telling you. I don't care what you hear on the news or, you know, what adaptation, what, you know, new movies are doing. Like, I'm telling you, be the knight in the shining armor, keep chivalry alive, and you're going to do well. Like,
and obviously, if a woman says that she's not interested, back off.
Exactly. But that shouldn't need saying either.
Like, that's normal human interaction.
Yeah.
We already knew that.
It reminds me of what I was talking about the other day with the Ava Max song and how they made it about bodily autonomy when the original song had nothing to do with that.
If anything, arguably, the original song by Aqua was affirming Barbie's bodily autonomy, because she was like, you can touch me there.
If you want.
She was giving the permission in that statement. So why does she have to say no in the new updated version?
Because everyone needs to be miserable and narcissistic and alone.
He needs to be a prude now. And that's what real prudishness is. Me Too is the prude movement.
It's funny, America, I never used to believe that, but America is very much more prudish and conservative
puritanical
and puritanical than a lot of other countries.
Have you seen the new picture of Michael Cera from the Barbie movie?
Yeah.
So I saw one of the comments was like, the hottest person, like the hottest woman you know is gonna ask like how to get a guy like this. I was like, it's funny. I get the joke, but I'm like, you're kind of right. You're kind of right. There's this weird like.
Yeah, because there's a possibility he owns a tech company.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, the Zuckerberg.
Or he's funny.
That's cap.
No, I mean, look at all these women dating Pete Davidson. Like, they think he's funny.
He's rich.
Okay, you've never known a girl that dates a loser because he has Riz
Pete
before.
Davidson also kind of
Everyone knows that girl.
This is also funny because okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say he kind of who was the guy that used to date? Was it Britney Spears?
Kevin Federline.
Yeah, dude, he's modern day Kevin Federline. He doesn't care. He dresses like he doesn't care. He's got a bunch of tattoos and he says what he wants. Like,
it's funny.
That's why he's successful.
I was just last night on Instagram, I made a post about in the show Bones. Angela and Hodgins are dating, and Angela's taller than Hodgins, which is always funny in the show. Kind of it never gets really pointed out, but you can always tell. And he always has this feeling of being seemingly inadequate because Angela is played by Michaela Coughlin, who's gorgeous, right? And it's really funny because her ex-husband comes back into the picture, and this private investigator is trying to throw her ex-husband at her, and she's like, I want a divorce, and Hodgins is there looking completely dejected, oh my god, I'm so glad she chose me. The character's a billionaire. She's gonna pick you either way, dude. I don't care what she says. If anything was a fantasy in that time period, it's that these people just, I'm actually gonna get married for love and not because this guy. I posted this when I was talking about Cordelia the other day when she says, maybe I should prostitute myself to David Nabbit because I need security and he needs and he wants to get married. And it's like she was brutally honest about some aspects of the human condition in a way they would never be honest about today.
Have you heard about the kind of the grass is greener issue that's kind of affecting modern dating culture? I don't know if you guys have heard of that.
What?
So social media basically right now, people are always looking for more. Right, social media has allowed that window to open where, okay, your significant other, your boyfriend, husband, whatever, he's making $100,000 a year, but there's that guy, he's making 125, you know, and it's like that for Tinder. It's like, okay, you matched with a beautiful woman, but there's someone even more beautiful out there. Yeah. And it's like women are going out on
social
dates.
Media and dating apps has made it a lot harder for a lot of people. Yeah. Like guys used to just have to compete with the other guys in their town. Yeah. Maybe the guys you were at college with. Now it's this girl's like, oh, you're kind of cute, but then she looks at her phone and there's just tons of Chad dudes making tons of money who are just fine dating a 22-year-old woman.
It's one thing to acknowledge that this is going on and this is a problem, but it's messes with your mind at a deep level that it's hard to kind of escape that, you know. I told you guys before we started the show, I'm like, I gotta taking a break from Twitter. It's just been a whole black pill, and I just not, I don't care about the people on the internet right now. I want to care about the people that I actually see on a day-to-day basis, real human interaction, and I need a break from it, and I wish more people would preach that, but they don't.
That's why they watch movies like The Little Mermaid. It's like
To escape.
escaping and thinking about a situation in which two people organically meet each other face to face and have a connection. Isn't that crazy?
Right.
It's something wild to think about.
It is funny. Another great thing about watching old movies and television is seeing the way like views have changed on online dating. They're like, oh, these crazy people who met online on their phones
Or online friends too.
yeah,
That's a thing too.
Like,
But the problem is, it's like, I don't like to be too harsh on the whole online dating thing, because tell me where the alternative is.
No, you shouldn't.
Where
That's what
are
I'm
the
saying, you
public
shouldn't.
Well, I
spaces
think
for
there's a
young
difference
people to go and
between-
hang out, you know?
There's a difference between saying online dating, as in you use the internet to find someone to talk to in person, versus using the internet to just endlessly farm
like,
attention
I see what
from
you're saying.
people and like be in endless talking stages purely over social media with strangers.
Right.
That's not even dating, but some people would call it like e-dating.
Like the mall, like malls in America, that used to be the spot where young people went and hung out, maybe did
Or got
shopping, maybe you got
trafficked.
food.
No, we were just like, was the
They're dead,
somebody
though. They're gone.
somebody reposted a video the other day. It was like a mixture of old Gillette ads and like handy like camcorder footage of girls at malls, and it was the quote, the world you were born into no longer exists. And it's like they go
man.
to the mall and all the girls, they're like, why are you here at the mall? They're like, shopping into like scope for boys, and like all the girls said to meet boys. Like every single one. And it was like dozens of friends.
They would never say that today. Oh, we're here for ourselves.
Yes.
We're here for our own empowerment.
Yeah. So it's like the world you were born into.
At least
no
I would
longer
be like,
exists.
well, I'm sad, so I want to buy something so I can feel better.
Honestly, retail therapy might be
Be
one they
honest
say.
with yourself and like take accountability for your own desires.
Well, I like-
there is nothing that Me Too taught us as a society that we didn't already know.
And nothing that The Little Mermaid is going to help with its new songs.
Well, I'll tell you what the actual excuse is people watching. They're going to people
People
watch.
watching
It's like,
is
bro,
definitely
you're
part of
going
it.
to see if there's someone you want to talk to, Like, yes, looking at the crazy people's fun too, but don't act like there's not a type. There's someone in your mind you're hoping to see here,
Sure.
There's some kind of goal you have. You're not just sitting in.
now for the
Trying
next,
to find my happiness at the bottom of a bottle of perfume. And
in the food court. The only place I go when I'm sad, I go get Sbarro pizza at the mall because it's
I
the
miss
only
Pizza
place to
sauce all
find
over
it,
your
yeah.
mouth. And you're
I
just
need
sitting
some
there.
Sbarro.
Okay, before we move on, I just wanted y'all's takes on the song Poor Unfortunate Souls. They said the lyric they might have been referring to is, come on, they're not all that impressed with conversation. True gentlemen avoid it when they can, but they dote and swoon and fawn on a lady who's withdrawn. It's she who holds her tongue who gets a man. Is this misogynistic in your evaluation?
No, because in the song, if it is, it's supposed to be because she's the bad guy. Because Ursula's the bad guy trying to silence her through like a weird type of psychology.
So Ursula's a misogynist?
I mean, I think
Technically?
technically. Do guys just guys are like maybe they're just like, I love women. I just don't like when they talk so much.
I mean, like, and this might be a little misogynistic, but I think people are looking too much into it. Because it's like this isn't like a true rule. There's gonna be women that are the life of the party, and that's sometimes that's attractive, right? You're like, oh wow, look how much energy she has. And there's other women that like you're tired, so you want to find someone who's also kind of just laid back, like, hey.
When
Cool.
was the last time that you had a positive experience meeting a stranger in like a bar or something like that? If ever.
If ever.
Like, well, I'm saying you guys are younger than me, so I have more of
A
that.
stranger as in someone to date or
Like,
just in general?
I mean, maybe just in general. Dating. I mean, the better question would be dating, but you guys are both pretty young, so I don't know if ever meeting someone at a bar happened
Yeah, this year.
this year.
Yeah, I've met some cool people out and about. This year, one I think it was a Halloween, and then the other place was just a place I regularly frequent, which is like they've got really good food, so it's like I go there, grab a bite, and it's like you're gonna talk to it's usually the bartenders, not people that are actually there.
Really, at the end of the day, Lin-Manuel Miranda is just like heading off the potential problems that might sort of come about if someone like Anita Sarkeesian got bored one day and decided to write an article about all this.
Yeah, they'll come up with something else. He really needs to atone for creating Hamilton stands.
And to be honest, I don't know if like when he says we saw these problems, I don't think he saw anything.
Someone
I think
pointed
Disney,
it out to you.
I think Disney legal said, look, there could be some issues here that
Yeah.
we need to address.
Well, you know, and like what we're seeing is the modern version of the TOS that you'll sign with every app. It is so long, and there's so much
broad.
to it because they want to cover their butts for every
Sweeping
single...
generalizations
Right.
that anything can be grouped into them.
Exactly. So we're just seeing the equivalent of that on the big screen now because they don't want to offend anybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.